everyone remain calm.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. And later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
You're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
You want to consult here or in my bungalow? Hold on to your butts.
Well, we're back.
Hello and welcome to the 105th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Jost, and we're here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. So another Jurassic June has passed. I hope everybody in the community had a ton of fun celebrating. There has been some truly awesome artwork out there, some sick shirt wearing, some fun giveaways, and so much more this month. So hopefully everybody out there had fun participating in their own way. We here at the podcast will continue doing our work every week, so it's like Jurassic June all year long. But in this episode, we have a quick news story to cover. Finally, another great Jurassic Mailbag segment with Jennifer Terek, where we take a look at all your correspondence via email, our website, or our voicemail line over the past few months. And then we'll wrap up the show with the Audio Lab, and we'll take a listen to some audio from Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pratt, and Jeff Goldblum. It's another packed episode, so let's get things started off with a bit of Jurassic news from around the world.
18 minutes and your company catches up on 10 years of research.
Access rate program. Access new security.
These pictures were taken in hospital in Costa Rica 48 hours ago.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look.
Boy, my head being right all the time. But today, I guarantee it.
Actor James Cromwell, with a role in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, will face some serious jail time. Alright, maybe not too serious. Cromwell was arrested back in 2015 for obstructing traffic while protesting at a competitive Power Ventures natural gas site. So, while protesting to help our environment, he and 5 others held up a bit of traffic, which resulted in the arrest. Now, he did owe a $375 fine, which he chose not to pay out of principle, and now he's heading to jail for 7 days later this month. He was quoted, "If we don't stay together, nothing will change. Power to the people." So yeah, not too much to do with Jurassic World there, but it does seem to fall in line with the activist plot lines that have been hinted at by the likes of Frank Marshall and the crew. What side do you think actor James Cromwell will fall on in the film? We'll have to wait and see. Check out the article via Vanity Fair in our show notes.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Don't miss Jay Jurassic at the Garden State Comic Fest at the Menon Arena in Morristown, New Jersey. On July 8th and 9th, he'll have a table showcasing his talents with art prints, on-the-spot dino sketches, and other dino-related items for purchase. He'll also be down there promoting the podcast, so make sure to stop in and let him know you listen. Of course, there will be a few fun celebrity guests such as Walt Simonson, a Jurassic Park comic author, John Wesley Shipp of The Flash fame, and Dean Cain from Lois and Clark. Head to the podcast show notes for more information on the event. Don't forget, July 8th and 9th in Morristown, New Jersey at the Menon Arena.
I'm not a computer nerd. I prefer to be called a hacker.
Aren't you supposed to be a genius or something?
I can't get Jurassic Park back online without Dennis Nedry. Incorporating all the latest technologies.
We shouldn't be here. And there's 5 dinosaurs.
How many Sarahs do you think are on this island?
Welcome to another Jurassic Mailbag segment. I brought in one of our favorites here, Jennifer Terek, to join me to kind of go over some of these emails and voicemails that we got over the past, man, I don't even know how long. It's been months since we did this last. How you been doing since then, Jen?
I'm good. I love this segment. I'm so excited. This is my favorite segment to do because you never know what you're gonna get.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't really pre-screen any of this stuff, so. I mean, the emails are easy to kind of look over, glance over, but the voicemails and stuff are a little bit tougher. We don't really know what they're going to say, but they're all kind of new to us, all these questions and all these comments. So we're going to dive in, and I guess while you're listening to this, if you do want to maybe send anything in, go ahead. We'll get to it next time, which in this case is probably going to be another few months before we get to it again. We got to get better at this. We've been slacking at the amount of time in between each listener segment.
I know. We got to make it like a monthly thing or something. Monthly mailbag.
I know. Yeah, it really needs to be, because we do get a lot, and a lot of times I am really bad at responding right away. There's just so much to do sometimes, so it's tough keeping up with everything. But we're here today, and we're going to cover a lot of your stuff, so be prepared. You might hear your stuff here. So this first one is an email, I believe. So it comes from Travis. So I'm going to read it off. So he says, I ran across your email on the website and just wanted to reach out and say how much I love the podcast. Thanks, Travis. I'm a heavy podcast listener, and as I've gone back over the catalog, I really appreciate the depth and range of the content you put into the show for us to dig through. It's refreshing that other Jurassic fanatics are out there keeping the fandom thriving. Nothing more to say, just I feel stupid reading this now. You're a fantastic host, and keep up the good work. Sincerely, Travis. All right.
Aww.
Thanks, Travis. I swear, I didn't screen these. I didn't read them. But it is nice to read stuff like this and to have people acknowledge, I guess, all the cool work that we do with other Jurassic fanatics out there. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice email. Thanks, Travis.
All right, the next one, I'll move on here. This is from Nick. He says, greetings, this is Nick, a.k.a. Klingon007JP on Instagram. Love the podcast. I've been listening since the beginning and look forward to each and every new episode. Regarding the raptors in Jurassic Park 3, something just didn't click right with me. I didn't feel as threatened or fearful with them as I did in the first two films. These raptors seemed to only kill if they wanted something, whereas the others would hunt just to hunt, regardless of hunger or taking some time in their possession. Sure they killed Udesky, but that simply wasn't to set a trap. Simply was to set a trap. They don't eat him or anything, they paralyze him, which certainly was a first in these movies, and smart. I feel like they were lacking in ferociousness. For example, if this was the first movie, they would simply run away after getting their... I'm really terrible at reading. If this were the first movie, they wouldn't simply run away after getting their eggs back. They would attack and would devour at least one of the survivors. They wouldn't just surround Grant and stand there. These raptors seemed more like actors, and it took away from the film for me. That being said, I understand Johnston wanted to switch it up and make changes, but I expect more from these raptors. If Billy didn't steal the eggs, do you feel like there would have been raptors in the film? Do you think that the raptors in the third film what do you think about the raptors in the third film compared to the first, second, and fourth? Again, thanks and keep it up. So,
Whoa, Jen, good question.
What do you know about raptors?
What do I know? Nothing. But I'll tell you what, though. I do think they would have attacked had the helicopters and all of that not made a presence, because I think that's why they ran away after they gave them the eggs, right? It was because the noise and the boats and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it was just like, the raptors' personality or anything coming through. I think they just, they got scared of that noise. And they were certainly thrown off, I think, by Grant using the vocal chamber thing. And so that definitely threw them off as well. But as far as their ferociousness and them lacking ferociousness, I disagree. I feel like they were pretty ferocious. If you think back to the first time, I think that we see them is in that lab area, and they ferociously, I feel like, attack the group there, and the group has to lock them up, and then it's chained behind the door, and then it's trying to climb the door. I feel like it's pretty ferocious in that scene. As far as the other ones, I feel like you could say the whole paralyzing him, Udesky, and not necessarily killing him right away. I feel like that's like a sign of intelligence and ferociousness. It's kind of scary in a way. I find that scary when you realize how intelligent these things are.
Yeah, I think that's where he's getting the less ferocious from, is they hire the intelligence a little bit, because already raptors are pretty intelligent in the other films. They could set traps as well, open doors apparently. But I do think that because they upped the intelligence a little bit, and they did kind of give them a motive to go after them, and they did give them a personality. I agree with him on that, and you do kind of feel for him more as a character because they do have a motive and they have prerogative and they have a goal. But I still think at the end there, once they got the eggs, they probably would have attacked the roof anyway, but then again with the planes and the noise and stuff, it kind of drew them away. But there wasn't really an example, unless I'm missing one, but in the film where they didn't have a chance to attack, because every time they would have, something else happens. Like, wasn't there another dinosaur that came in at another point or something? Like, I feel like there was always something stopping them from attacking at certain points where they could have and maybe would have.
Essentially, yeah, there really was just like all these distractions and plot points trying to push the story forward, so they never really got the chance. And plus, like, they almost got everybody. I mean, they almost got Grant in that one sequence down under the trees. They got Udesky, certainly. And they certainly attempted to jump like up into the trees to get everybody else.
I think there were a lot of attempts. That's the thing. And I'm sure the mix-up is coming in with the motive as well, because they have a lot of attempts, and then they also had a motive, which is different than all the other films. Other raptors don't really have a motive to get something, like the eggs, for example. So that's probably where it's leaning more towards, where they seem different. But I don't think they had too many opportunities. They tried. I think they tried. But something kept standing in their way.
Yeah, I guess like it comes down to the last scene and interpreting it a certain way as well, because they definitely most likely ran away because of the chopper, but maybe they ran away because they got what they wanted and they weren't necessarily hungry or feeling a killer instinct at that moment, I guess you could say. I do think it is the chopper, but or whatever was coming at them. I just think like you could confuse the two, and you might necessarily view it a certain way. In regards, I guess, to the ferociousness of the other movies, 1, 2, and 4, I guess if I had to rank them, the Lost World raptors are certainly the most ferocious. They're terrifying, and all they want to do is kill. Like, it's kind of, just one-sided. They just seriously just want to kill everything they see. And then I don't know which. Everybody says that the ones in 4 were really, or a lot of people, not everybody. I personally like them. A lot of people say that they're very soft, I guess, and they weren't as scary. I thought there was plenty of scary moments with those raptors, and maybe not as much as some of the others, but I think they're pretty good. I don't know. I'd probably put ferociousness. Oh man, it's so tough. I feel like they were pretty ferocious, though.
I'll give it this, though. I mean, the first 2 movies, as you just said, The Lost World being the most ferocious, it kind of humanized them in the last 2. And I guess you can go, is that a good thing or a bad thing? People probably have different opinions. But they kind of fleshed out, they are characters. I mean, dinosaurs are characters. They're animals, but they are characters to a point. And so it kind of built on the characters in the last 2. And I guess it's just a matter of taste, whether you like the killing machines in 1 and 2, or if you like the more still killing machines, but with a little character in them in 3 and 4. So it just depends on preference, I guess.
That is the perfect point. I think that really sums it up. No better way to say that. So why don't we move on to the next one then? Thank you there, Nick. That was awesome. The next one is from Lonnie. He says, "Hey, Brad, loving the new segments, man. Keep them coming. I get a kick out of listening to all the old Jurassic Park toys. Listening about all the Jurassic Park toys. I just missed the boat on those as I was starting middle school when Jurassic Park came out, and I felt a little too old to be buying toys. However, I won't lie to you. After seeing the movie, there is a possibility I improvised when no one was looking by dragging some old toys out of the closet. Maybe my Dino Rider T-Rex pulled my real Ghostbusters Peter Venkman out of my Ecto-1 to recreate the Tyrannosaurus paddock scene once or twice. I have some fun hypothetical questions for you. No, I guess the first one here. Let's pretend Michael Crichton never wrote the Lost World book, and the Lost World Jurassic Park movie never followed either. Where do you think the franchise would have went next? I bet J. Jurassic has some old comics that delve into this. I know I used to. Would Grant, Ellie, or Malcolm have returned to Isla Nublar? Would we have had a restored Jurassic Park or world sooner. Maybe a new secret facility in the Congo or something. Just thinking outside the box. Next question, it looks like. If Netflix or somebody else decided to redevelop or reboot a darker Jurassic Park closer to the style of the book into a series, would you be interested? And would it be too far away from the franchise you grew up with? Keep it going, man. Lonnie. So, wow, yeah, there's some good stuff in this one.
2 good ones, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that first one, I feel, is way over my head because I never read the books, and I don't really know. All I know from that is that I guess from the 4 little pieces of the books were all spread out in all 4 movies. So if there wasn't a Lost World book, I don't know. I can't answer that, so go for it.
But I don't think you need to know that, to be honest. I think he just wants to know if that book never existed, where would the franchise have gone next? So kind of like, what do you, like if you're just looking at the movie itself, the first movie, there's not much, it kind of really wraps itself up. Like it doesn't really go anywhere. You know, it doesn't leave any
I never
threads.
saw The Lost World either, so this is a horrible question.
No, not The Lost World, Jurassic Park. The first movie. So forget about Lost World movie, forget about Lost World book. No, they don't exist. It's 1993 and Jurassic Park just came out. We just saw it. Where does it go now? Like, what happens and when we don't know or when nothing is coming, you know? Because like I said, I don't feel like Jurassic Park necessarily leaves any kind of threads or, you know, open-ended stories or anything like Jurassic World does. You know, you can kind of like sense like, oh, they could tackle this idea or that idea. They still left these threads open. But with Jurassic Park, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't feel like there was any, you know, ongoing story plot points that they could have continued.
Well, I mean, the island's still there and the dinosaurs are still there and all the science is still there. So they probably might have went in the same direction that they did, really.
Yeah, I guess I kind of would have said that. Like, we don't know anything about a second island. So in our minds, Isla Sorna does not exist. It's just Isla Nublar, right? So I guess I would have said they go back to the island and, you know, try to salvage it. I could completely just describe Jurassic World 2 or at this point Fallen Kingdom, because I feel like you could say the same thing about both those movies. You know, you kind of go back, salvage what is still there, maybe try to clean it up, maybe try to restore it. I don't know.
Okay, so you might be actually onto something then. So hypothetically, going with this hypothetical question, that would mean like, as what they're doing with Jurassic World, they go back to the park and salvage things. So really, we're just kind of having a do-over from what could have been had the Lost World not been a thing.
Exactly.
So they would have went back. So we're having a do-over. Like, it's not a reboot, of course, but
no.
It's going down the same pattern as it may have. So that's pretty cool.
We could have gotten Jurassic World in 1997 instead of, 2015. Yeah. So who knows? That's a really good question. I don't really know. So he did ask, would Ellie, Grant, and Malcolm return to Nublar? I mean, I wouldn't have assumed if you just take a look at Jurassic Park, I wouldn't have assumed any of them would go back after that terrible situation. But somehow Malcolm was,
That's like asking the same question, will Owen and Claire go back to Jurassic World kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're guessing so I guess in this case, it would be
Yeah. I feel like I don't know what would entice Claire necessarily, maybe just because she worked there and stuff, but Owen, I feel like, he's got a solid foundation in like survival tactics and war and situations like that. So he's more apt to go back than a paleontologist or paleobotanist or a mathematician. Those three, it's kind of hard to say like, oh yeah, let's go back and do something else. They had to coax Malcolm they had to basically trick him and they had to trick Grant. Mm-hmm. So I guess you would have had to trick them, so he did say, would we have restored Jurassic Park or Jurassic World sooner? I think so. I think, like we said, I think they would have probably got to it sooner if they excluded the other book.
Depending, though, I mean, how they would have went, because if there was no other book and they could have just went anywhere, they could have done anything which wouldn't even lead to a Jurassic World. They could have done something scientifically. They could have done Jurassic War or something and brought the animals on the mainland. There's so many ways they could have went that could have negated Jurassic World completely.
Exactly. Yeah, it
There's
might not
so many
exist at all.
possibilities.
Yeah, like he said, maybe a new secret facility in the Congo or something. I think that's, possible even now. Like, it's kind of hard to compare, or hard not to compare, I guess, the two situations, because we feel like we're in this same situation right now. Like rebooting the new park and
this
trying to
is
clean
like
up
the situation of not having the next book. So this is probably what would happen if they didn't have another book, if they didn't have something to go off of. It's probably what's happening now.
Yeah, so whatever happens next in the Jurassic World, plot would have happened back in 1997 or whenever they made another movie.
There's your answer.
Yeah, there it is. So he also asked, if Netflix redeveloped something darker, closer to the style of the book. I would be interested. I feel like the movie, though, really captured, a new element of the books and made it more lighthearted and it pulled out these characteristics of characters that made you like them a little bit more. Like, there's a lot of unlikable characteristics via the characters in the book. They're not as likable, I don't feel like. But I would certainly be... Oh, man, I don't even know if I want to say that. Honestly, it would be tough to get over if they just decided, like, right now that they're not making any more movies and they're going to reboot it and make, like, sort of like Ghostbusters did recently or, I don't know, so many other movies. But if they just rebooted, new cast, all new sets and everything, new dinosaurs, that'd be tough. I don't know.
No, I can't let go of this franchise. It's has too much momentum. I can't negate the whole thing. But, like, they always say some kind of animated series or something cool like that, I guess I'd be fine with, just so it doesn't eliminate everything we've already seen and done and is canon. But I guess if they build within the franchise, I don't know.
Yeah, build within, that's fine, certainly, because it continues all the current stories. But as far as, like, essentially pretending the others didn't happen, like, that would be very tough. I don't think I'd be able to get over it. I mean, maybe if you had asked me before Jurassic World was, created, maybe I would have said, like, all right, let's give it a shot, because you'd have to assume the other ones are done. The series is dead. It's been 14 years or however long it was. Yeah, 14. So maybe I would have given it a chance before Jurassic World, but now that we've reinvigorated the franchise, I feel like I wouldn't be able to give it up so easily.
Yeah, we got so much momentum going in this direction. But if it was something within the franchise, like another look, like, because you only see so much on screen, but if the camera kind of went, but this is what's happening over here, then that would be okay.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one then. Thanks, Lonnie. Let's see. This one comes from Jonathan. He says, "Hey man, my name is Jonathan, huge Jurassic Park fan, and my thoughts on The Lost World is that it doesn't necessarily get enough credit. People think it was one of Spielberg's worst films ever made. I disagree with that, and I think it was a very excellent one, both from storyline point of view and dialogue point of view. Anyway, I guess I'm saying I think it deserves more appreciation and less hate. Roar, Jonathan." So this, I guess I'll answer this one. Hey, Jonathan, I totally agree with all those sentiments. I don't know why it gets a lot of hate. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's such a good movie, and even the points that people point out as, like, flaws, I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. It doesn't. I don't know. Sometimes I just look at movies like, hey, it's a movie. Let's have fun with it. Like, let's not take it too seriously. But sometimes I fall into that trap as well. I mean, I am on 105 episodes of the Jurassic Park podcast, so I guess I can fault myself for that. But I agree. I don't know why it gets hate, but it's certainly an excellent movie. Jen, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
He actually has another email here, so let's just move on to that one. Okay. He says again, "Hey, my name is Jonathan, and my thoughts on the new logo and film title is that I think the film is going to be very good. It's going to have a new story that has nothing to deal with any of the old ideas from previous movies, and that we have a new story right here where Jurassic World left off. I think there will be a lot of action and destruction, as well as some sort based off of how the logo and everything is. Roar, Jonathan. So thanks for all those roars, Jonathan.
I love that. I love his closing.
I might do that in like all my work emails. I wonder if coworkers and people would appreciate that.
I think they would. Just saying.
But yeah, so Jen,
I think they would.
I didn't really get too much of a take from you. I know I talked with Aaron about it. I've heard a lot of people, but what was your take on the new logo and the new name?
Okay, well, my biggest complaint, which is very small, but my biggest complaint is the hashtag. That title is so big, it takes up so many characters in a hashtag. But other than that...
I'm like, wait, there was a hashtag on that? But no, I get it. It really does.
Anytime you include it in a tweet or anything, it takes half a tweet up in that hashtag.
It does.
But
I mean, if you use Fallen Kingdom, not so bad, but Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, way too much.
And with that being said, I like it. I like it a lot. I do wish there was a 2. I wish it was Jurassic World 2 Fallen Kingdom. I do wish that. I know I'm like the only person who wanted the 2, but just for an organizational purposes, because like with Pirates of the Caribbean, for example, I don't know what order those movies are in. There's no numbers. I'm confused. So just from a casual viewer, I would have liked the 2 just for other people not to get confused. But other than that, I mean, the poster's awesome. The new logo looks amazing. It looks crisp and it looks detailed, and the technology in Photoshop clearly improved over those couple years, so that's awesome. The little embers are cool. The Malcolm line is there, of course. But I like it. I like Fallen Kingdom. It reminds me of Magic Kingdom, but Fallen Kingdom is cool.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of a lot of the people that commented on our last or before our last episode with Aaron pointed out the comparison to Disney and
really?
Magic Kingdom. Yeah, and we talked about it for a good while. Like, what could that comparison mean? And it's not like, insignificant, because I feel like a lot of people pointed it out. So it definitely evokes like a certain imagery, like,
well,
think of how loved it was.
This is my take on that. Well, this is probably obvious and people have said this before, but like this is the same T-Rex from all the movies, right? And he's there, and that's kind of his kingdom, because he does roar at the end, and the Jurassic World is kind of his kingdom, and it's Fallen Kingdom, so it's probably like the fall of T-Rex and fall of his world and that, like the fall of Jurassic Land, and his reign, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the Rex, I think it does kind of foreshadow that as well, And
it's symbolic. It's probably the end of the island as well.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so. No matter what like plot point you come up with in your mind about what could happen with the title, it's not good. Like,
it's gonna be emotional.
None of the options are good. It's like just take all the above and just know it's going to be horrible no matter what. Just expect the worst going in.
Because when you do introduce all that old stuff in this Jurassic World with the wood from the reclaimed wood and the old T-Rex and the old visitor center, and you bring it back to that place, and you kind of bring up that nostalgia for everyone who watches that movie, and then the next one, it's gonna hurt even more when they're going to destroy all of that, probably somehow that they created that nostalgia, they brought it, and now they're just going to destroy it, and it's going to hurt.
Oh my,
my emotions are it's going to hurt, because they reminded us it's there, and now it's just the original everything. I'm going to cry.
Yeah, I kind of like every time I think about it, I get like, oh my God, like I get a little scared, thinking about what could happen, what could be destroyed, and how things will go down, and because
it's like watching your favorite character die a slow death, because the park itself and the land, the island is a character. It's part of our makeup, and to watch it, however they show it, whatever parts, and if that even happens, I don't know what's gonna happen, but that title leads me to believe that something like that's gonna happen, and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I think that is a trend of movies, now is bringing you back to those nostalgic days,
and destroying it.
Destroying it, exactly. Yeah.
Awful.
I know you're not a Star Wars fan, but if anybody saw The Force Awakens, you know exactly what I mean. Like, it's just that, like, the moment in that movie is just like gut wrenching, and that's gonna happen. I guarantee it's gonna happen here. And it's going to feel the same way because we all have, maybe not everybody. Even Aaron was saying, like, a T-Rex is a T-Rex. It doesn't really, he doesn't really get emotional towards any of them. I think he said they're just like deer in the woods or something like that. I don't see it that way because I feel like she's a character in this entire franchise. She's been in 2 movies now, going on 3. Just as many as Malcolm will be and all that. So... Yeah, I think it's going to be really tough if that's the way it goes down, and I don't see any other way around it. And especially the island itself, if all that stuff disappears, it's gone for good.
See, that's the thing. It's not just the T-Rex. It's like everything. Yeah. It's the original visitor center. It's the Jeeps. It's everything. It's the goggles. Like, just everything.
The goggles. Like, I'm just imagining the movie, like, with a volcano going off. And this is all hypothetical. We don't really know anything about that, but potentially that's what could happen. So I imagine, like, in my head, just this montage of destruction. He said in his email here, he said there will be lots of action, things. And lots of destruction. So I'm imagining those montage of destruction, just like everything crumbling and being enveloped with fire and lava.
The sad music, like Jurassic music playing, or oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Do you know though? I wonder if the T-Rex, she does die somehow or whatever happens, is it gonna be because of that, or is something else gonna happen beforehand, or is it gonna be? Are they gonna give her a special spotlight death moment if that happens? I wonder if they're just gonna pile it under everything, or she'll have a bigger role. I don't know.
I don't know, because, like...
Going to give her life to save something else? I don't know.
I think there will be a self-sacrificing moment, kind of like maybe she has to save another dinosaur or another, like Owen and Claire or something like that are out there, and, something she does. And people are going to get real on that and hate it, I think, because I know a lot of people did not like the fact that... Owen and Blue had that connection, and like we were talking about with the raptors in Jurassic World or Jurassic Park 3, like the humanization of these animals, people don't necessarily love that aspect. But I feel like if they did this self-sacrificing thing, it would like make her so humanized and all that. So it's very tough. I don't really know where they'll go with that and if they'll do something like that, but I feel like they'll show it most likely. But I'm not 100% sure.
I think I was talking to someone else about this, but I like to think that Claire and the T-Rex have a thing, because I was talking to somebody about this the other day. This whole thing up in my head, that when she was involved in the park, they were kind of going through everything on the island, and they came across a T-Rex, and they're just kind of getting rid of everything, and they're like, oh, what do we do with this? And she's like, no, keep that. Like, this stays. I have respect for this dinosaur. It was here. This should stay. And so it stayed, and then it went, and she knew to get it, and it saved everything. So I hope in my brain there's some kind of Claire T-Rex thing happening. I want that.
Yeah. I think that would definitely go down that way. I could see potentially maybe they don't want to show the violence of the act. If say, for instance, she just gets covered in lava or something horrifying, I could see them like showing it about to happen and then cutting to like a wide shot of the island, and you just see it like explode and just catch on fire. So you don't necessarily see that horrifying image, something like that.
It's going to be heartbreaking. Whatever they do, it's going to be heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, tears.
And devastating.
Tears for days. It'll be terrible. Let's move on here to the next one. This one actually comes from Taylor, and this actually came from our website. So if you want to send in a question, you can send it via our website. So This one says, I just wanted to say I really love the podcast. I've been listening for about a month, and I've gone back and listened to a few episodes that I found interesting. I've been listening to you guys and in general. While both do great work, I truly feel like you guys bring it. I love the music you include. It's such a vital part of the films. It really sets the mood. I look forward to my weekly Jurassic Park escape. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Taylor.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
It's such a nice, refreshing thing, because we were just all like, I'm still like emotional and sad and depressed from the last one, and then we have this nice, cheery one.
We needed to pick me up, I think. But I think that's the reason why I wanted to include a lot of the music and sound clips and stuff like that. I wanted to make it feel like you're kind of part of something. And, you know, sometimes we do the jokingly, you know, segments where we're, you know, on Isla Sorna. We're not joking. What am I talking about? We're really there.
I was there. Yeah. I don't know where you were, but
I've been there several times with you. It's very strange why we went all the way out there for a recording, but it's happened. Mm-hmm. But I kind of liked that aspect of it and playing up the films and making them more part of the show. And yeah, that's kind of why I did it. I just wanted to have fun with it like that. And plus, I listened to a lot of like other podcasts, movie podcasts that do the same thing, whether it's Star Wars or Indiana Jones or something like that, and Disney. So I kind of like it, including those aspects. We actually have a few voicemails, so let's move over to those, and I'm going to play them here. So let's take a listen.
Hi, it's Scorpio916 on Twitter. I'm sorry, I'm leaving like a second call within a week. It's annoying. But I've been thinking about this for a while. I recently reread like some bits of Crichton's Jurassic Park. And one of the bits I reread is, sorry for that in the background, is to me one of the most beautiful scenes in the book. It's when the gang, the surviving gang at least, gets away on the helicopters and a bunch of other ones come and they, you know, blow these maneuver to smithereens. And when Grant like looks back, it's, you know, described by Crichton as, you know, as a bright spot that seemed like entirely on fire, you know, diminishing in the night and stuff like that until you couldn't see it anymore. And it really made me think that, you know, the ending of the original Jurassic Park track by John Williams, the very slow piano keying of the end of the Jurassic Park theme, that could fit very well there. So it got me thinking, you know, are there any parts of the books that you think could work well with the John Williams music? You know, maybe like have some of the Lost World score when the Raptors are chasing Thorne's Jeep in Crichton's Lost World. You know, something like that. So thanks for the great podcast. Just listened to the Jack Ewens episode a few days ago. It was fantastic. So, yeah, great job, guys. Keep up the great work.
Well, thank you there. Man, this is actually going to be very tough. I don't know.
Good question.
I don't know how to answer this per se. I totally get it though. I get that first part, and it kind of unfortunately brings it back down to the sad like aspect that we were talking about before.
I thought that's where this was going to go. And so you said, where do you think the music would fit? And I was like, okay, we're not going there. But I thought it was going to say it could fit at the end of Jurassic World too. Like I totally thought it was going there.
Yeah.
And we were going to be sad again.
I've thought about that before. And we were just talking about like the sad moments of that movie. And you did bring up, you literally just said like, oh, I imagine like the Jurassic Park theme there or whatever. Yeah. So like, I think that theme can be used in so many ways. And I mean, take the first movie, for instance, the scene he's talking about specifically, leaving the island, the very end of Jurassic Park, they're leaving in a more happy moment. And you get that theme. Now, if you reverse that a little bit and you see fire and brimstone in the background of the helicopter as Grant looks out, and you put that theme in, I think that works really well. Like, I think that could be sinister in a weird, like, twisted way, you know?
Well, it's the same as whenever they visited the old visitor center in Jurassic World, they brought the music in, and that gave you emotions. And I can't relate it to the book, obviously, but I get his question, but I don't know that. But as far as the music goes and pulling it into important moments like that, I could see them doing that. Like we were saying with the whatever happens in the sequel here, them putting that music in, playing that card, and just killing us with emotions.
Yeah.
I know they're going to do that.
Yeah, I think that would be really effective, I feel like, because sometimes, like, for instance, Jurassic Park 3, I've always kind of criticized the music in that movie for being a little too over the top, too much, just at all times. It's a little, jarring, I think. So I think this next movie will be a lot softer in certain aspects. And I think, like, if you are going to show a lot of destruction and chaos, sometimes, like, a simple, like, few note motif is very, very effective. Yeah, I'm looking through the music right here. Let's see. Not necessarily that, just think like that. This is, I believe, the track that is playing at the very end, right?
Wonderful.
Like,
oh my gosh.
Seeing now imagine chaos and, like, just things burning, like, and the island blowing up, like, from the first novel. Like,
it's a little too happy.
It might be a little too happy.
It's a little too jolly. Like, it has to be more ominous, maybe slower, some other instruments in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you might be right there. I don't know
if
this necessarily works. Yeah, it's very...
The idea is there, though. I mean, just change it up a little.
Yeah, let me see if I have another one here. I see if I can bring this one up.
Actually, you know what would really work? Again, I'm going back to this concept for the sequel here, but if the credits, the song in the credits they used for Jurassic World, because it started like that with the Jurassic Park, real quiet, and then it went to the Jurassic World theme, like right away. It switched into it. So that could be an emotional destruction song for the sequel.
Yeah, so you mean specifically like this one here? Let's see if this part plays.
Yeah. Doesn't that sound more...
It definitely does. It has a not creepy, but like a darker tone underneath with the harmonies there.
Yeah, that's more destruction. The other one was like, we survived. This is more...
Yeah. So it really depends on the background part and, like, what's being done.
That's so good. Kills me. Okay.
Let's see. I have another one here. I just gotta see if I can pull it out real quick.
But listen to that though. You can totally see like the whole thing burning and it just all.
Oh yeah, like especially with the Jurassic World theme here. I could definitely see it. Even though this has happier tinges to it, I feel like it could be destructive as well.
Oh, I have goosebumps. Like that right there playing over just the burning of the island. Oh my gosh.
And here's the old visitor center when the kids are walking through. Certainly creepy sounding. But this is, I guess, leading into it, so it's coming in. Let's see, skip through. Yeah, here we go. I don't know if that theme would necessarily work.
No, I'm telling you, those end credits to Jurassic World.
Yeah.
That would fit. Really good.
Let's see here. The actual theme comes in somewhere. Or maybe not. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh, this is horrifying. Like,
oh my goodness.
That's it. I feel like that has to be it.
Oh man, it's like a music box.
Mm-hmm.
I want that in a music box.
Oh man, there's got to be one that exists, right? Like, I'm picturing destruction here, and it works because of those sinister undertones. Like,
it's still sad. It's not really.
It's very sad. Yeah.
I don't know those credits. Those do it for me, those credits.
Yeah. Well, this is the same as the Jurassic Park credits, and this works more so than the Jurassic Park credits, I feel like, just because this sounds sad for some reason. But I think you're right. I feel like if you did influence a little bit of the Jurassic Park stuff in there, it would work just as well, too. Or Jurassic World stuff, I'm sorry.
So the end of Jurassic Park, we decided was kind of a little perky, happy, we survived. The ending of the Jurassic World credits is more like devastation and destruction and sadness. This one is more like a melancholy sadness.
Yeah.
So there's our levels of emotion.
Yeah. I think if you were to use that over the scene that he talked about in the novel, that one we just played would work really well. Because, I mean, it was used in Jurassic World in a kind of upsetting tone because you're revisiting something you knew that had life and so much like love inside that building, you know, and then all of a sudden it's just moldy and dingy and vines and it looks horrible. So it's kind of sad. So
it's very melancholy. Like it triggers a memory. It's like a memory in the air, which is appropriate for that. Those credits, they get me.
So I'm not sure we actually answered any of his question there, but we kind of went off on a little tangent.
We had a good discussion on it.
Absolutely. I think I have actually a few here, maybe a few here from him. So let's see if this one's from him as well.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it's.
He's talking.
Just calling to leave a question. Yes, I was wondering. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I'm Scorpio16 on Twitter. Sorry, but are you worried at all about the franchise? Like, at all? Because, I've stated before in calls that I want it to end in terms of sequels after 6. But, like, I've been really worried lately because especially, like, people my age, I'm 16, like, to just perceive it in the future as, boom, boom, big mega action, Chris Pratt, giant hybrid dinosaur, that kind of stuff. As much as I loved Jurassic World, that is always something that I kind of worry about. So, hey, just a thought I had. I was wondering what you thought about it. Hope everything's doing well. Love your new podcast, Never Offline. Looking forward to more of that, and looking forward to more of this one. Hope you had a good time at the fan event, by the way. See you next time.
All right, so that's a good one. That's a pretty good one.
I think we had this discussion before because we said how Jurassic World, they kind of threw everything in, the big dinosaur, the big star, just everything to make it like marketable. But now that they made the money, they got the budget, they got everything, that they believe in Colin now, they believe in it, they trust him. They're not going to do that again. They're going to bring it back. They're going to bring it to what Jurassic is. It had its heart. It's going to have its true heart. It's going to be written how they want. Universal's going to trust them now. So I don't think he should be worried about that. I don't think that's a fear that's going to take place. I think we're good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been worried about what will happen. everybody has talked about, Jurassic War and all that stuff. Like, I never assumed that they would go that far. I mean, they did it in a way in Jurassic World, and it worked really well in my eyes. Yeah, people did have a certain issue with some of that aspect, and Vic Hoskins and his motivations, and strapping cameras onto the dinosaurs and stuff like that. But I loved those aspects, and I have no issues with that at all. So I've never been afraid of where they'll go, and I've never thought for a second that they're going to strap machine guns to dinosaurs or anything like that. Maybe they will in like a failed attempt in a third party created a dinosaur, and they show like a lab sequence for a minute of a failed attempt at doing it. I could see that happening. But as far as attacking a city or going in and attacking terrorists or something like that, like Vic Hoskins wanted to do, I don't see any of that stuff happening. So I've never been afraid.
I could see his fear though, because in a big budget, in a big movie like that, they want to cater to the big movie theater goers who like that kind of thing. And so I could see him a little worried about it getting out of hand and them just putting that in for the sake of it. But I don't think they're going to do that at all. like I said, I think
Yeah.
they trust Colin now. They trust everyone in the film, and they'll just let them go off and do their thing, and I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think everybody's in good hands here with Colin and Bayona, and Frank Marshall's been around forever, so he knows the ins and outs of this, and I think like they'll do something really good, and whether it ends or not at 6, I don't know. Like Colin actually said in an interview just the other day that it's not a forever series, I think he said. So it eventually will end. It's not, it can't just go on forever and ever. So maybe it does end at 6 for good. And I don't know. I'm just not maybe I'm concerned about where they could go in 6, but not afraid, really. I'm just thinking like, wow, what could they possibly do in 6, Where could they go? I don't think they'll do anything to upset me, but that's all I'm concerned about, I guess.
I mean, the good thing is that they're not putting in different people for each sequel. They're not just greenlighting a sequel one by one. I mean, from the beginning of Jurassic World, Colin had 3 planned. He knew what he was doing with 3. It was just him. He's going to be involved with all 3. So I think we're pretty safe in that aspect.
Yeah, I agree. It's his story now and what he wants to do. So I think Colin will want to have a certain legacy to him as well.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot to live up to. So
I think we're lucky in that aspect, actually, because a lot of films, when they have sequels, there's different writers, different directors, different people coming through, different people handling it. In this circumstance, I mean, we got the same crew handling it, all 3, and they know what they're doing, and it was pre-planned that way. It wasn't just written on the cuff like that. So I think we're lucky in a sense. So I'm good. I'm excited.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm not worried.
We're worried about what will happen in terms of story, like we were talking about before. That makes me worried, but not in a different way.
It's a good worry. That's a good worry.
Oh, of course, yeah. I think the next one is actually from him as well. So let's take a listen to that one.
Hi, it's Scorpio Dino 16 from Twitter.
Hold on. Yeah, I've got so many because let's see. The first one was 4 months ago. The second one was 2 months ago, and this one is around 2 months as well. So, yeah, that's why I've got so many from him. So let's get back into it.
Again, sorry I keep calling in, but an interesting thing happened today. As I'm calling this, it is Easter Sunday.
Oh, so long ago, actually, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The Jurassic World Twitter account tweeted out, here's 6 Easter eggs that you may have missed from Jurassic World, blah, blah, blah. And in it showed the Spinosaurus skeleton that Rexy crashes through at the end. And it says, sorry, let me mute that. And it says, this is the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, even though anatomically we all know it looks completely different. Because this one's tail looks different, its crest is different, it has a little crest on its head, whereas the JP3 one doesn't. So I just want to know your thoughts on that. You think Universal just messed up? Do you think something happened? I don't know. Well, have a nice day. Keep up the great work on the podcast, and I'm also loving Never Offline. It's great. Thanks.
That's a great one, and I think I think I quickly mentioned it in a news segment, but really didn't discuss it in detail. So, do you remember when they did that?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of marketing, just saying, oh, they won't know, or let's just post something just to post it, or I don't think anyone really takes that seriously on Universal's side or really the fan side. It's just kind of a thing that happened, and it's cool and kind of it. I don't know.
I think, there was a bit of a freak out, though, from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, the ongoing fight and battle between some people about the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus fight, it still goes on. How long is it now? 16 years later. It's still happening. And that was a big plot point that people freaked out about when they said that on Twitter or Instagram, wherever it came from, that it's the same one, the same Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. Now, a lot of people assumed that, but like he said, it looks very different. It doesn't look like it's the same skeletal structure. I think it looked a bit smaller. The other one was a freak of nature. The real Spinosaurus in that movie. That thing was giant. Like, so there's no possible way in my mind that could be the same one. And I'll personally say I feel like Universal just messed up with that. I think they just kind of connected a dot that they shouldn't have. I don't really know where that information came from, but maybe just the marketing team. I don't really know. Maybe they just got their wires crossed or something.
I truly think this defines what an Easter egg is. Like, truly defines what an Easter egg is. It's not a hidden meaning or hidden thing that most people go for Easter eggs. I truly believe this is just a little, for lack of a better term, Easter egg. Like a little shout out. Not accurate, not story, not to the point, not extremely perfect, but it's a little Easter egg shout out to the previous film, and haha, the T-Rex goes through it, and it's cute, it's fun, whatever, but you can't really take it that seriously because it is an Easter egg. It's not a plot point. It's not even like what Pixar does. Like they're very good with their, I don't quote Easter eggs, but I mean they're more specific with references. I'd call them
like
references.
when they have they're references, like when they have an older character in one of their newer Pixar movies or
whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Those are references. I would literally call this a genuine Easter egg. Nothing super accurate, nothing truly referencing, but it's fun and it's thrown in there and it's a little side nod and it's an Easter egg. That's my definition right there. I
don't know if it's Easter egg because I feel like certain Easter eggs in that movie, whether it's Malcolm's book hidden basically right there in your sight.
That's a reference. See, that's a reference.
I don't know. No, I feel like an Easter egg is. That's what an Easter egg is. It's Easter egg and reference. I feel like is just interchangeable. Like I don't know that there's much difference to that term.
I would put reference more as an in canon for sure thing in storyline. An Easter egg is just something they throw in. It doesn't have to be accurate. It's just like a little nod to something, but not in story, in screen, in like the fabric of the franchise, like that book is.
Like the other day, actually, just as of recording this, they, the Marvel and Disney team, I guess, confirmed an Easter egg or reference, whatever you want to call it, like in, what was it, Iron Man 2? There's like a scene where they're at the World's Fair, or not World's Fair, it looks like a World's Fair, but it's a Stark Expo, and this little kid, like, does the Iron Man motion at like Iron Man, I guess, and he had an Iron Man mask on as a little kid, like tiny kid, and now they're saying that was Spider-Man the whole time. We just didn't know. Like that was him, Peter Parker, growing up and as a kid, and now years later he's actually in the movies that we're gonna see now. So that's like it's like a retcon is what you call it. Like they're retconning it and saying, oh, yeah. We meant to do this like the entire time. Like that was meant to happen. Like we planned that from the start. So I feel like that's sort of what happened with this Spinosaurus is like, oh, we didn't actually think about that at the time. But yeah. That's the Spinosaurus from the movie. Like that's the one. That's what happened.
I could see that. Now,
I just don't feel like it's accurate enough to say it's true,
Too bad they didn't just go with it's a Spinosaurus. It's in honor of. Like, too bad they had to say it's the Spinosaurus. Too bad they couldn't just say it's a replica of that one.
Yeah, this is a Spinosaurus that you have seen in Jurassic Park 3. That would have been fine.
They dug themselves in a hole on that.
Yeah, so I feel like they definitely dug themselves in a hole. I feel like it was not, it is not a canon source or anything. So I wouldn't go around saying, like, to all your friends, like, yo, that's the one, they killed it, look, it's dead. Like, I mean, maybe it's dead, but I don't think that's it. I don't think it is. So, I mean, don't go off of what I say, but I don't trust that source.
I don't know. I like that it's there, and I like that it's in the movie, and I like the Easter eggness of it. But I do wish that they backed up a little on this is the Spinosaurus.
Yeah. So
that discredits it.
That's our thoughts there. Also, thanks for listening to Never Offline. I really appreciate that. That's my other podcast. don't listen to it. It's terrible, but listen to it because it's funny.
It's terrible.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And I think we're at our last one here. So let me get into this one. This one's from Justice Steele. So let's take a listen.
Hey, Brad. How's it going, man? This is Justice Steele. I know it's been a long time. I haven't really been on Twitter that often. Mainly just been a lot of stuff going on in my personal life with college and whatnot. But as I'm sure you're probably aware, the new Jurassic World poster was revealed yesterday, and it's with the new name too, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. And my question for you was, what do you think the setting is going to be for this film? In my mind, I had two ideas. I thought either they would be going back to Isla Nublar after the events of Jurassic World 1 and seeing now like a bunch of dinosaurs flourishing and then just this fallen ruin that was Jurassic World, and maybe they try and do something with that. Or, since we haven't been to Site B in quite a long time, maybe they will even go back to Site B and see all the dinosaurs flourishing over there, because from what I recall, it hasn't been messed with since the Lost World Jurassic Park. If maybe my lore is off on that. It's like I said, it's been a while. Do you think they'd possibly be going back to that place, or would they just be going back to Nublar and dealing with that? I wanted to see what your opinion was. But anyways, thank you. You have a blessed day, and I'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, dude. That's it's always great to hear from you. Yeah, and I think we kind of covered a little bit of that previously in a lot of our discussion here. I think for a lot of it, it'll definitely take place on Nublar. I think Frank Marshall has straight up said, like, we'll have some news here from Nublar soon. Like, so he said it several times, like, Nublar. So we definitely can assume we're going there. As far as Sorna goes, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a quick look. I feel like maybe the beginning of the film, they could, like, take a, literally, like, no time has lapsed since the last movie, and they take a helicopter ride over the to Sorna. And all of a sudden you see what Wu and everybody else is up to. Maybe that'll happen. I don't know, but that's a guess, I guess. As far as anywhere else, I don't know. What do you think, Jen?
Well, that would have been a crazy scene in Jurassic World to have that quick helicopter with Wu over to Sorna. Like, whoa, that would have been insane in that Jurassic World movie, somewhere toward the end there, because everyone's always asking, where did he go? Where are they going? Where did he go in the helicopter? All that stuff. So that would have kind of blew minds. But I don't think they have to visit there, and I don't think they will visit there because I don't know what circumstance would they possibly have to go over there for, just to show fans that island. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Fan service. That's about it.
Yeah, I think it's going to take place mostly on Nublar. I don't know where else it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to be off the island or not, but if it's going to be on an island, it'll probably just be that one. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with that. I don't need to see the other one.
Yeah, I would love to see Sorna. I think it's a very cool island, very different. It's very different in Jurassic Park 3 than it is in the Lost World. I think the Lost World version is very interesting. The Jurassic Park 3 one is not so interesting looking. But I would love to see it. And like I said, that would be probably the only aspect I could assume would happen, is that it's just a quick jaunt over there. There's not going to be much going on. But I don't think they're going to be traversing through the forest or anything like that out on Sorna. But I could see them just showing that the tagline, just Isla Sorna, however many miles off of Isla Nublar, 80 miles or something. I forget how many. But that's about it.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, how far apart are they?
I forget specifically, but I know people are probably yelling at their iPods or what. I don't know. What do people listen to podcasts on anymore? iPhone
phones. I guess phones. But I mean, if it's not, given how the distance, I mean, maybe it could be on some plan, some files, some radar of some sort, depending on how far it is and whatever's happening on Nublar, whatever is going on. Maybe they are somewhat concerned of what's going on over there. They just don't have time to make it over there. So maybe it might be a shout out someplace. Because if they really are, unless like Jurassic World 3 is going to take you to Sorna and deal with that. I don't know.
Yeah, all right, so I was close. It's 87 miles southwest of Isla Nublar. So via chopper, that's probably only a few minutes. I have no idea how long choppers take, but I would assume it's only a few minutes. Like, it's not that far. So if they're escaping the island, at the end of Jurassic World, I could see them just making a pit stop at Sorna. Just maybe there's a lab over there, and InGen or whoever, Hoskins' team has like taken control or something like that. But I don't really think we'll get too much of it. As far as other places, I mean, I won't spoil anything, but if you see any of these spoiler images or set pictures, there's definitely hints at other places. So I think we'll be going somewhere. They've been doing a lot of filming in London. I don't know if we'll see London specifically, but there was a lot of filming going on over there. So that's a potential, spot as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even with all these spoilers, I still don't know what they're doing. I still don't really know exactly what's happening. I still don't know exactly what's going to be off the island, if anything, what's going to be on the island, if anything, what's happening where, what's the order, where they're going. I just don't, it's hard to piece it together. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think that about sums it up. I think we answered all his questions there. But that's it. That's all I got. That's a lot we went through. So, yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for writing in, using the website, calling in. And if you want to do that, like I said in the beginning, I don't think I actually gave out the information or not. You can email us, JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. You can call our voicemail line, 732-825-7763. Now, if you haven't done that before, and you want to do it like these guys did, it's very easy. You just call in, and you'll hear a quick message from me with a little bit of music and stuff. You don't have to talk to anybody, so it's not like, don't be scared. You just call in and leave a message. Just tell us who you are, maybe where you're from if you want, and your question or your comment. It doesn't matter. But I think that's a great way for people to call in and get their voice heard, because that's what this podcast is all about. And the other option is via our website. We do have a contact page. There's a form where you can put in the title and all the comments and everything in there. So use that as well, and we'll definitely get back to you eventually. I'll always try to respond to as much as I can. Sometimes we get a lot, so it's and not always stuff that I can include here on the podcast. So, but yeah, I think next time we'll have a lot. So hopefully we have some good ones next time.
I love doing these segments. I love hearing people's opinions. I love never knowing where it's going to go. I love if it's just going to be a question, a comment, or anything. Like the music one was really cool, and I like different approaches, stuff that we wouldn't even know what to talk about, and they're bringing up cool stuff. I love doing these mailbags.
Exactly. There's something like unique and fun about it. Doing it on the fly, not knowing what people are going to ask, it kind of adds some like suspense and really tests our knowledge, I guess you could say, because we have to know what we're talking about without doing any research.
Yeah, and sometimes we really don't know what we're talking about, and it's fine. We admit we don't know what we're talking about.
All I had to do was look up how far Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna are from each other, and I was 7 miles off, so forgive me, please.
Nope. You're going to get hate emails. That's it.
Yeah. All right, Jen, well, thank you very much. Why don't you let people know where they can find you?
Sure. You can follow me at Jennifer_Lynn89 and the Bryce Dallas Howard Network at BDH Network.
Awesome. Got anything good coming up soon or no?
I don't know. We'll see. It's always a work in progress.
Always something on the horizon with you, I feel like. So I'm always enjoying all your posts and everything, so keep it up.
Thank you. All
right, I'll talk to you again soon. Take it easy.
All right, bye.
Hold your fire, do not fire.
God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs.
Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
We're gonna have to drop the can. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
In the audio lab today, we have some audio from Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pratt, and a little bit from Jeff Goldblum. Let's start off with Bryce here and take a listen to something that really bites. That was awesome. I got chills listening to that when I first heard it a few weeks back. We did forget to cover it back then, but Bryce did another daily post from the Fallen Kingdom set, and it featured that iconic sound that we are so familiar with. Again, so we've heard from Colin that our favorite Rex is back in this film, so that must have been her, right? You also hear a few bursts of air, which kind of sounds like a lot like my smoke machine that I used during Halloween. Now, taking a few context clues from the poster, along with that noise, I really wonder what this means. I will post the full video, including the audio, in our show notes, so go check it out. Next up, we hear from Chris Pratt via his Instagram, along with the winners of the Crowd Rise campaign. Let's check it out.
Hey, Chris Pratt here on the set of Jurassic World sequel. I'm here with the contest winners for our amazing Crowd Rise contest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Jenna.
Where are you from?
San Diego.
And?
Holly from Phoenix.
Holly from Phoenix. And this little guy, his name's Kyle. Holly just named him. We think it's a good name. He's a Jackson chameleon that we happen to find here in the woods on set. So that's pretty neat. Are you guys having fun so far?
Yeah.
Yeah? Anything you want to say to the other contest winners?
Too bad.
Oh! Look at what do you have to say, Kyle? Nothing, buddy. I'm cool. Anyways, we're having a good time. More videos to come. Very excited. And we raised $828,000 for charity, which is amazing. So to the other people who entered the contest, thank you very much. And we're having a lot of fun here on your behalf. Cheers.
Wow, so first off, that's amazing that this campaign raised $828,000. That's fantastic. I kind of expected that, to be honest. But also, I'm sure we are all reluctantly happy that Jenna and Holly are having a great time on the set. Woohoo, yay, don't we all wish it was us? No, but seriously, congrats to Holly and Jenna. That's totally awesome that you guys won and got to check out the set in Hawaii. Super jealous, obviously. Head to our show notes to see the full video from Chris's Instagram. And finally, we have an audio clip from the Adam Carolla Show featuring Jeff Goldblum as a guest. Let's hear what he has to say about the new film.
Yeah, every little question I had.
So speaking of talking about stuff, Jurassic World 2?
Well, now they've
5 overall.
Today, I saw probably just when you saw it. They've released as of today the name. They have heretofore secret name. It's Jurassic World. Let me see. Hidden World. Wait a minute. No, Fallen World. Wait a minute. Jurassic
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom.
Says Gary.
There we go.
What a tease.
Fallen Kingdom.
And you're back.
It sticks in your mind as soon as you hear it. You can't forget it.
You can't forget it.
I couldn't bring it up. I did.
Etched into your brain.
I'm sure by the time I say it 800 million more times, it'll get
Jeff's
Fallen
tagline
Kingdom.
is on the poster, and it's Jeff's line, famous line, which is "Life finds a way." Shoot, are you shot out? Are you done?
I'm shot out. As of a week ago, I went to London.
Oh, you're shooting in London. Is there a big, huge soundstage there?
That's right. Yeah, well, you know. What's the stage called where they shoot all those? Yes, Pinewood. That's where we shot Pinewood. All the Bond. There's a Bond stage. I was so thrilled. So yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Now
I'm shot out.
Were they were filmed in like Kauai or something? Where is the non-stage stuff?
So
shot?
J.A. Bayona, who directed The Impossible, that movie with a tsunami.
I love that movie.
Yes, me too. Naomi Watts. I love in anything. And then that when A Monster Calls, he did recently. Anyway, he is a wonderful guy, friend of Fernando Trueba, both Spanish directors. Anyway, he was shooting it, and I don't know why. Maybe that's the reason, because he's European. They shot the whole damn thing in London on this soundstage. He's very impressive, big. You can imagine what they built there. But then the day after I finished the last day of shooting there. They went to Hawaii to spend 4 more weeks. But I think they went to Oahu. We had gone in the number 1 and number 2 Jurassic Parks to Kauai for 2 weeks at a time. And it was during that first one where that hurricane hit and almost wiped us all out. Sadly killed 4 people, but we made it out.
I'm looking here, and it says you're in.
So yeah, not too much new information there, but it's just fantastic hearing his voice in any way, shape, or form. I'd include clips of him in every episode if I could. Well, yeah, I guess I kind of already do. So anyway, head to our show notes to find the link to the full episode of the great podcast, The Adam Carolla Show. It was a great interview with Jeff, so go check it out. Make sure to visit JurassicParkPodcast.com to find all our past episodes, brand new news articles, information on how to contact us, and much more. It's a great source for everything related to the podcast, and of course, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Head to JurassicParkPodcast.com and help us build a great community.
Anybody hear that?
Thanks for listening to the 105th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. Of course, I gotta thank Jen for joining me in the Jurassic Mailbag segment. We always have so much fun in those segments, going through all your questions and comments. We talked about doing this on a monthly basis, so anytime you have any questions or comments, send them in and we'll get to them in the next Jurassic Mailbag segment. And yes, thank you so much to everybody who wrote or called in recently. You are all truly awesome. If you didn't hear yours today, don't worry, we'll get to yours in the next one. If you want to interact with us, we do most of our work over on Twitter, at Jurassic Park Pod. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Jurassic Park Podcast, and our Instagram handle is at Jurassic Park Podcast. You can listen to us via iTunes, Google Play, Podomatic, YouTube, our website, or wherever else podcasts are found. So make sure to subscribe to automatically get new episodes every week. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star review in iTunes or a great review wherever you listen to the podcast. It will seriously help out our rankings and make it easier for fans like you to find us. We're usually spotted commenting on the Jurassic Park subreddit as Jurassic Park Podcast. Don't forget to check out JurassicParkPodcast.com for all the links you heard here today. If you want to get a hold of us, you can email us with any news stories, MP3s, comments, or if you want to debut a segment of your own, send them to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. Or you can submit questions directly on our website contact form. If you'd like to record something for the show, like I said before, send it in to us and we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. If you don't have any way to record, you can give our voicemail line a call and leave us a message. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now.